I am Fridge. Welcome to episode 69, I think, of Web Civilization Start Over. In the last episode, we saw the end of the war in Australia, which ended with Pink Australia winning. Speaking of which, the capital of Pink Australia will be... one second, where is... Anyways, the capital will be... On earth did my... There it is. In the capital of... over here. As this was the first area that the revolution took over. So that's where it will be. Anyways though, getting into this episode, we'll be starting out over, not here, but down here, where there'll be something happening. And that is that the green team here, they are going to be invading the lime team here. So they send troops in, and the lime team has been around for a long time, so in fact they've been around since episode 1, and now they're dying as they get invaded. And the capital is taken, and this country falls, and is fully annexed into the green country. Then again, at one point in time, the green country was controlled by the lime country, so who knows, maybe the lime country could return in the future. I know the answer, but I'm not going to say. Why is this? This is being annoying. Yeah, now it should be the correct color. Anyways, though. Now, heading not too far, we're going to head over to the yellow country, who will also be expanding. And they're also going to expand into a country that's been on the map for quite a while, as they're going to invade the blue country here. So they send their troops in, and they quickly make it to this major city, and quickly get to the capital. They will take the capital, and then they'll ally the lime country next to it, not to be confused with the lime country that just got invaded, is also going to join in as they push in and take this major city and also take this province here. The yellow country will continue pushing along here. And soon this is the last province in the blue country, and this province here actually gets invaded by the Danish country. The Danish took this province because they're still mad about the green country for taking these provinces up here. I think it was the last episode, it might have been 2 episodes ago, I don't remember. Anyways though, the peace treaty will be pretty simple. This area here will go over to the Dutch. These 2 provinces here will go over to the lime team, not to be confused with the other lime team. And the yellow country will get the rest of it. So with that, the blue country is wiped off this map. Rest in peace, blue country. And since it's dead, it does not need its capital city. Anyways, though, taking a look at the alliance map, we can see which countries are in alliances, and why did I bring this up? And anyways, we're going to see a few more countries join some alliances. And those countries are going to be Norway and Sweden, who are going to be joining the Square Alliance. So now, the three main members of the Nordic Union are now all in the Square Alliance. Obviously, the true successor is up here just minding their own business. After all, this is where the government fled to. And they're doing other stuff up here that you don't need to know about. Anyways, though, next up, we'll be heading over to the Purple Sinai country, who is going to be expanding. And they're going to be expanding into this blue country here, as they send their troops in and invade it. And this blue country, they never quite look up. They haven't been the same since the war, like in episode 50. That was almost 20 episodes ago, and that was many years ago at this point. Anyway, so this major city is taken. And they push along here. They take this land here, and they actually, this country here, also sends some troops in to help them. In return, they'll get a few provinces over here. They made that deal with the Sinai country. They are in an alliance together, so yeah. Anyway, so the capital will fall. Following which, only two major cities remain. This one here, and with a little bit of help from their ally, the Red country, this major city here will be taken. Following which, this country will fall. There was like a few people, there's like a few smaller cities along this coast here, but other than that, there wasn't much. This area didn't get the treatment that the rest of the, that the area down here did. If you remember from a long, long time ago, in the Red country, back in before episode 10, they used slaves to dig a bunch of rivers through here. Anyway, so we can now get the peace treaty of the Blue country, and it's going to be a pretty simple peace treaty. In this treaty, you will see, well, actually, I'm going to give them this province as well. We'll see this area here. Be given over to the country that is the same color as the line I'm drawing. You can see what color it is because I have failed to draw it. I have really failed to draw it. Anyways, let's fix this. That should be good now. There. And then the major city over here will be given to the Red country. Along with these few pixels here that should have been part of the Red country already. And the rest of it will go over to Sinai. With that, Sinai is looking a lot like it did before it got colonized. In fact, of course, most of the people living here are still, from, a country that no longer exists. But still, the land is looking a lot like it did before they got colonized. Anyways, though, next up, we'll be heading not that far as we head over to the Blue country and the Pink country just north of it. And the Blue country, they are not doing well. They broke apart as 4 different breakaways got independence a few episodes back. However, they're still incredibly unstable. And the pink country is going to take advantage of that, as they're going to send their troops into the blue country. Now, if we look at alliances, neither of these countries are in an alliance, so not much people are going to care. But they push into this blue country, and they quickly just spearhead down to the capital after taking a bit of land, capture the capital, and following which the blue country collapses. It was not stable at all. And, well, peace treaty-wise, the pink country just got big. No, they're not getting all of it. They will get most of it, but they are going to give a little bit of land over to this country here that got independence from the blue country just a few episodes ago, like 2 episodes ago. And they're going to give them this land here. They're also going to give a bit of land to the orange country, as they're going to give them this land here. Now, why are they getting this land? Well, because I don't want them bordering the other pink country. Also, we have a really, right angle border now. What's your opinion on that border? Tell me in the comments down below. Do you like it or do you hate it? Anyway, so the pink country still does expand a lot. And they will not stop expanding, as they are then going to instantly invade their neighbor. This neighbor this time, as they quickly push through and take the capital city. They then push up and over and take this major city, following which it surrenders and is also fully annexed into this country. So now the pink country is looking a lot bigger. Anyways, though. Oh, wait, I forgot to remove this capital. Anyways, though. Next up, we'll be heading down to this area here, where we need to talk about a few countries. Mainly, this country here, and this country south of it. And why are we talking about these 2 countries? Well, because, to put it simple, one of them is not going to exist for much longer, as we see the full-on collapse of the United States of South America. No, I'm joking. In fact, we see this country here join the United States of South America. With that, yeah, I don't know what with that is. With that, this country gets bigger, and there's less countries in the world now. What is the ideology layer at again? I need to fix it up a bit. I should really, between episodes, actually fix the ideology layer. This is, the layer that I pay the least amount of attention to. Actually, maybe did I ever fully update the religion layer? How's that one looking? Okay, that one's fully updated. Well, no, it's not. This area here needs updated, and these islands need updated. But and just this area here. I guess this country is atheist, I guess, because there's no religion there. This half is at least. Anyways, though. Next up, we'll be heading over to the Florida Empire. Speaking of Florida, I'm actually going there in a week. And they're going to invade this poor country down here that was doing nothing. Jamaica, rest in peace. Can we get some RIP Jamaicas in the comments? Because they were just sitting there minding their own business and then they get invaded by Florida. Come on, Florida. Did you have to do that? I know you're fascist and all, but you didn't have to invade poor Jamaica. Anyways, though, we can now remove the circle here. This episode is actually just updating the ideology layer. But anyways, we need to now talk about Florida's ally, Mexico, as Mexico's going to be expanding as well. As Mexico decides to expand into this country here, as they push and take this major city, and they also take this major city, and they quickly get to the capital and take that. However, then they start to struggle. Like, no joke, they're struggling to invade this country, as this country starts to push back. This is an interesting development, Mexico. I thought you were better than this. I thought you were in the top 10. Actually, are they even in the top 10? Yes, they are. They're the 10th strongest country in the world, and they're failing to invade this. This layer, I think, needs updated. It might be pretty similar, actually. Yeah, this country's still number 1, and this 2, 3. Actually, this layer might still be good. 6, 7, 8. Actually, I lied. This layer is actually pretty perfect. It won't fall much longer, though. You'll have to wait till next episode to see that. Anyways, though, back to the background, which is the name of the layer, because that's just the layer name that it got default, and I never changed it. Anyways, Mexico starts to push back, though. However, they still struggle a bit. In fact, areas over here, like the people here, rise up and overthrow the soldiers occupying this area. So Mexico goes in and just straight up murders all of them. However, with this struggle, they're going to invite this country here, Colombia, to invade with them. So Colombia joins, and well, this country was not expecting that, so they quickly lose land. With this, Mexico can then sweep into the rest of this, and this country is dead, and since there's no provinces, I'll just divide it. Let me fix that a bit. I don't really like the way it looks. Let me give like this area here over, and then it should look good. That looks good. Anyways, Mexico did expand, but it was not really that good for them. People are laughing at Mexico now, like, 1 second. What's the layer? Like, these 3 countries over here are now laughing at Mexico. Like, come on, Mexico, you failed to invade that country. Speaking of this alliance, we're actually going to see a few more members join it. Those members are going to actually be on the other side of the continent, as we see Baja California, along with regular California, both join. This is a surprising development. Now, why these countries join? I don't know. Maybe in Baja California's case, it's a bit worried about getting invaded, but I don't think Florida really needed to join. Next up, we'll be heading over here to the fourth Chinese Empire, as they're calling themselves. No one else calls them that, though. And they're going to be invading this brown country. So they send their troops into the brown country. And, well, this is the strongest opponent that they've been up against so far, I think. I could be forgetting someone. And they managed to get through these 3 provinces here, but then they get stalemated. And in fact, the brown country is going to push in to them over here to distract them. And also because they could easily push in here and take the capital. So, also these are way too similar colors. Let me fix that. Is that better? That is not better at all. Maybe if I make it like an orangish color, like that. Yeah, that's better, I guess. So they push in over here. And there's a stalemate over here for like a few months until eventually the Fourth Chinese Empire manages to push through, and they manage to get to this major city and take it. And they then manage to slowly make their way around here until they get stalemated again. And with this stalemate, they decide to refocus as they decide to push out the troops over here. And they managed to push most of them out, but a few managed to remain over here for a few months until they're eventually pushed out. Along with that, after a few months, over here, this area here, they managed to continue to push into a bit more. They then start to push troops in over here. And they get to the capital over here, along with over here. They surround the capital. And also they kill the troops over there. They then take the capital. But the country doesn't fall yet, as the areas over here still remain. However, they do manage to push in a bit more now. However, this is a really difficult war for them. This is the hardest war that they've had to fight so far. And eventually, as the map looks like this, they will sit down with the Brown country and discuss a peace treaty. So here we have the peace treaty, in which the Brown country lost a lot of their land, including their capital. However, they do still exist, and they moved their capital over here. They had to choose between having it on the border with this blue country or with this blue country. They chose this blue country because they actually share pretty good relations with each other. They also share good relations with the pink country over here. Not enough for them to come to their help. However, they did send some resources, which is how this country managed to survive. So, yeah. Anyways, though. Next up, we will be heading over to this pink country here, who wants to expand. However, they don't know where to expand to, because they have the terrorist country down here. They have this country here, which is, this war would end in a stalemate. They could probably push in and defeat this country. However, there's a lot of land to occupy. And while everyone lives down here, they don't feel like gain that much land at once. So they choose the yellow country to invade. So they put troops on the border and start to send them in. They quickly push in and take this major city here, as the yellow country was not expecting this. In fact, they shared pretty good relations with the yellow country before this. They start pushing in along here, and they take down here, getting towards this major city here and taking it. They will then push and take this major city here. And after the borders look like this, the yellow country will start to stop the pink country's advances, and in some places even start to push back, like down here. But they managed to push them almost completely out down here. They do still have some troops in down here, though. Meanwhile, up here, though this is completely stalemated, they will push back a little bit, this major city, but not much. Then it's stalemated. After a month, the pink country will make some advances over here. However, this is followed by yellow country making some advances just south of this over here. And as this war continues, there is not much movement for the moment, and we'll actually have to come back to this war in the future. Anyways, though, next up, we will be heading over to this country here. Now, this country, they only were left alive to be a buffer between this country here and the purple country here. And, well, they were only really needed as a buffer before World War III. World War III ended many, many years ago now. Like, obviously a lot of the, people who find are still alive, but, it's been a while since that war happened. Actually, I don't know how much time has passed since that war happened, but it's been quite a while now. I mean, it's been almost 10 episodes. Next episode will be 10 episodes since it. I don't know. Anyways, though, they don't really need to exist anymore. So this country here starts putting troops on the borders. However, before they can send the troops in, this country decides to join an alliance. And what alliance do they join? Well, you might be thinking that they join the Square Alliance. However, actually that's not the case. They're actually going to join the Trapezoid Alliance. And this is because they border one of the members. So they could easily send in help if they were to get invaded. However, now they're not going to, because this country does not want war with Denmark and Wales. They would lose. Actually, wait, if we were to look at the top 10 layer again, this layer will be getting updated 2 episodes from now. Actually, and really it would depend on if this country can actually, let's see, this is the 7th, and this is probably the 11th strongest country in the world, 7-11. Anyways, though, in fact, maybe they're the 10th after the embarrassment that was Mexico's war with this country. Well, I'd say they're the 11th, but right on the brink of 10th. Also, if this was to happen, we'd probably see the Square Alliance join in against this country. And if these two were to get involved, or even just this one, then we'd probably see the Right Triangle Alliance also get involved. Also, the Cross Alliance doesn't really like the Yellow Country. So yeah. But anyways, the next thing that we need to look at is something that we've not looked at in a while. And that is nukes. Now, the nukes we have not looked at since the end of since the peace treaty of World War II. But now we're going to be looking at them as they have changed a lot. So starting with the Yellow Country, they had 37 before, and they probably haven't made that much more. So, anyways, let's take a look at how much they have now. That's way too big. So it looks like they have 2 nukes, actually. Oh, 0.5. 250 nukes, Yellow Country? Wow, that's a lot. They have really been developing nukes. In fact, they've passed Korea now. But Korea's also been making some nukes. So, how much do they have now? Oh, apparently they got rid of some nukes, now they only have 5. Oh no, they have 500 nukes. Wow, Korea, that is a lot. And 50 of which are on other countries' land. And where are those 50 nukes? Well, if we take a look at their allies, if I can find the alliance layer, that is. Where did I leave the alliance layer? I lost the alliance layer. No, it's right here. I found it. If we look at their allies, they don't have much allies, actually. Wow, it just surprised me how few allies this country actually has. They're not going to give them to this country, because this country would be crazy with them. Also, they don't really have a reason to. They will give some over to this country now. So this country actually has 40 on them. But if this country has 40 on them, then where are the rest of their nukes? Well, they're actually in this pink country here. They actually have 10 nukes in this country, and it has just been discovered that they have 10 nukes in this country. Now, why do they have 10 nukes in this country? Well, that's because their relation with this country here has gotten a lot worse than it was when they fought in World War III together. In fact, this country wanted to invade and annex the pink country after World War III, but Korea said no, and that made this country a bit mad. And along with that, Korea was not a fan of this country getting nukes, as they did not like their allies getting nukes. They gave the technology of this country here and this country here because they couldn't let the democracies and communist countries know that they were allies with those countries, so that's why they got nukes. But they did not want the rest of the allies getting nukes. Speaking of which, though, this country here, they've also developed some more nukes. They've developed 9 more nukes. Oh no, they've developed 90 more nukes. They have one. These countries are crazy. Not as crazy as the countries in real life, but crazy. Please tell me, Red Country, that you've not developed any more nukes than you have at the moment. Wait, why it's not working? It's not letting me do text. Wait, I think I need to do that. That should fix it. Now it should work. There. Okay. So, you probably haven't developed... Okay, yeah, it looks like they haven't actually developed any more nukes. 400 nukes, really? Really? Come on. So, they have 400 nukes now. In fact, I'm surprised that they have the second most nukes in the world. You'd expect it to be like this country, like the yellow country. Anyways, though, a country with a lot less nukes is this country here. They only have 50. That's still 50 too much. Greece, they have also developed a few more nukes. They're now at 10. You know, I'm sorry I'm saying this, but I'm glad it's only 10. I'm surprised because 10 is still too much. This country here, they're at 40 nukes. And finally, we have Wales, who has now gotten to 75 nukes. The country has gone crazy with nukes. Also, what happened to these countries' nukes? I think I forgot to put them on this. Did these countries get rid of their nukes or something? They should have... I don't remember if I mentioned something. I want to rewatch the past one. If not, then these countries do have nukes, and I'll fix that in a future episode. But this episode's getting pretty long. So, I need to get to the final event of this episode, which will be happening over back here, where we need to talk about Florida and also Mexico, because you might remember that earlier in the episode, California and Baja California both joined their alliance, the alliance against them. So to combat that, they're going to be adding another country to their alliance, and that is none other than Colombia. However, just a few days after Colombia joined, in fact, not even a few days, a few hours after Colombia joined, an incident is going to happen. An incident that is going to lead to what is going to be known as the War of the Americas. And that incident happens on the border between Florida and Michigan, where we see Michigan troops invade into Florida. And Florida was not expecting this. Well, actually, they were expecting this. They had troops here. But they weren't expecting it to happen right now. They thought that maybe in the future it could happen, but they thought right now is pretty safe. They've had troops there for a while. Nothing had happened. They were a bit suspicious when these two joined the alliance, but that was a few months ago at this point. So they had kind of calmed down, and they had just added another country to their alliance, so they thought, well, now that we have another country, if they were to invade us, they would have done it already. But no. Now they do it because they actually hadn't gotten the information about Colombia joining, and Colombia's thinking, like, why did I join this? But yeah, we see Florida get invaded by Michigan, and the entirety of their alliance will declare war on Michigan. But following that, the entire Star Alliance who are joining the war on Michigan's side. And in the next episode, we will see the War of the Americas. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.